Okay, cool, cool. So you want the story now?
I
Yeah?
want the story. Yes, I've been waiting
Okay,
for it.
I will say the full story. All right, so we're Greeks, me and Alex. Like we're a couple. We're Greeks, and we're in Athens in the middle of the financial crisis. So everything is very sad and disappointing, and there are no job offerings. And whatever projects we already had, they were just calling to say that it's on hold, or it's stopped, or it's done, or whatever. So we feel that we're in this dark room, and we need to have kind of like a window. So in my mind, there was always this dark room with a window, and the window was the hope of somewhere that you see outside. You're sitting in the dark room and you see the window, and you see this place that is magical and everything is perfect and everyone is happy, and you want to be there, but you don't know how to go there. So at some point, we are working on a project which is in Montenegro, and we see what Aman is like. We understand the brand, and we see the Aman architect, what the Aman architect is like. So everybody's saying, "Oh, he's an Aman architect." Everybody's terrified, and you know, to speak to them, and everyone is kind of like feeling that they're so precious and they're so talented, and admiring them. And we're seeing this world. It's like the window. Here it is. Like that's what we have to do. That's what we need to do. So we are there, and there's something going on with the project in Montenegro, where the developer and the architect go into a fight, and so the architect is gone, and the project is left without an architect. So there's a chance. I started texting to the owner of Aman, Adrian Zeka, messages and emails and phone calls but he didn't have a mobile. He just had, like a landline. So, but the emails were not standard emails. I was just sending these endless emails, like 10 or 15 per day, kind of like a stalker or something. So after a few days, he gets very upset. So I'm sitting in Montenegro, and he's sitting I think he was in Thailand. So we had this time difference, or US, I don't remember. But he calls me in my nighttime, and through his secretary, and he says, "Ria, is this Ria?" I say, "Yes." And he says, "Please stop texting me. Stop sending me emails. You get me?" He was so angry. He was so upset with me. He was like, "Stop texting me. Stop sending these emails. I cannot take it anymore. Please stop doing that." And I said, but Mr. Zeka, you know, I can do great things. I'm so talented. I can do this for you. Please give me a chance. Give me a chance. So he says, "If you think you're so great, I'm going to give you an opportunity. I'm going to give you the chance to design for me 3 Aman villas for Montenegro. If you make it, you will become one of my Aman architects. But if I don't like it, you come to present. If I don't like it, then you never get to speak to me again. Not even close, not even as a side collaborator of the brand or wherever then you're at." So I said, "We have a deal." I go back in Athens. At that time, I had 2 architects, like it was me, Alex, and 2 architects, the 4 of us. And within those 10 days, we literally didn't sleep, not even 1 hour. Like, and I mean literally. We started brainstorming, and we had this amazing concept, because reality is we didn't know much about the brand. We weren't trained. We weren't briefed at all. So we had to do the research, we had to understand, and then we understood a bit more about the local architecture, and we did the Villa Miloser, which is their traditional architectural style house. And then we created this mathematical acquisition and analyzed the ratio between the solids and the voids. And we created a new translation of this old design where if you would run like with a car, it would feel so similar. But if you stop and sit, it would be so much different because the ratio and the proportions and the forms were the same, but the architecture was like a more modern, like a transition of a contemporary architecture. So we go into the plane with Alex, with my husband. That was the first time we slept, you know, in the, like we were like dead in the city. And we arrived, we go to straight ahead, like we're going straight ahead to the, next to the region in Singapore. It was the Aman Resort offices. So we're sitting at the, before we enter to the skyscraper, we hold hands and we look upwards, you know, to this tall building. And we just look at each other and we say, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing? Like, who are we? We're coming from Greece, like to a couple of Greek architects, you know, going to the Aman offices in Singapore in a skyscraper, which we've never seen before, to go and present our project to the owner of Aman and the founder. It's crazy, but we are. So we go into this building and it's the big, so we enter and it's the big meeting room. So the whole team is there, but, and of course, Adrian Zeka is there, and I start presenting and I present the project, but nobody makes a face. Everybody is like, they're just like poker face because he's paying attention. He's trying to understand, you know, to see what he's seeing, and the rest of the team is patiently waiting for his reaction, and in order to react. So I'm presenting and I'm trembling because I don't know what I'm seeing, because, you know, when you present to somebody, you see the face, you feel happy, does he like it? You know, you can, you know, if I see he doesn't like it, I can say, but this was the old option, but I have something in mind, you know, kind of control that. There was nothing. And when we finish the presentation, he stands up and he claps and he says, congratulations, you're my new architect. And he hugs us and he kisses us and he takes the developer and he says, I have my new architect here. So he invites us straight ahead. As we were there, we go to Thailand, to Amanpuri, which was the first Aman ever to stay in his villa. And Steven and Ron was his technical team. Like, they were the people that they were able to understand and translate the Aman mentality and Adrian and everything. They came with us and they spent days of training us, not how to design. They trained us on how the experiences are crafted and how the guests should feel and how we should listen to nature and how we should respect nature and the trees and the landscape and the views and how architecture is complementing that. That's why, you know, you've seen in Aman, always they present the nature around. It's very rare that they show the building itself. It's about where it is and what you see. So that was the start of it. And from then onwards, we've done a number of projects with them, but with Aman, which is of course our most loved brand and hotels to work with. But that experience actually was one that opened the window. It was what took us out of the darkness, from working to Greece into working internationally with this kind of clients. So that was the beginning of it.
I love this. This is an amazing story. Honestly. It's really fabulous. I mean, you know, I was trying to retell
one thing. This story, the same story, is what made me, when I first listened to it, is what made me send the CV to this office. I swear to you.
Yeah.
I'm not exaggerating. Exactly. And I'm blushing when I listened to this story, and it was not so, you know, detailed as she gives it right now. I was so touched by it. I immediately started looking for this office, and I want to work with this woman, alongside this woman. She's a living inspiration. And I was so identified with this journey of persistence and vision. It was incredible. And this is what got me here. I mean, when we spoke, I started telling her really honestly that it's such an honor to speak with you, really, because I also see myself in some point, persisting and trying to amplify my efforts and get to that window of opportunity. That's what I want. I'm sorry.
It's true. And I'm telling you, like, that's the reason why I've started to do this Disrupt Women, because I want to have a place for that story. But also I tried to retell it to people. Like, that's the best. I tried to retell it. And I mixed Singapore. My story was in Dubai. I didn't know which hotelier it was because I didn't remember because we were drinking when she told me the story, but I told it to people. Changing the facts but retelling it because I was so inspired by it. So it's actually nice to go back to the real story and realize that it was never in Dubai. I don't know why I thought it was in Dubai. So funny. Yeah, no, this story is amazing. Thank you so much. So basically, of course, I want you to tell this story. I think it's going to be extremely inspirational for women. This is what we're doing this for. And, it will be great to also show some of the work that you're doing, show who you are as an office, and maybe share how basically this type of adventurous and bold decisions of, moving forward with certain projects shaped you also as an architect and as an office, because, as you say, like, you got guys trained to do more nature projects and understand a little bit more the angle of the client, and that I'm sure influenced also the way you now design. So it'd be really interesting to know through this experience, like, what else is the benefit of that? Of course, that's out of the project, the money and the client and the international projects.
The biggest benefit of that is that it taught us not to be afraid of the big players. So we're no longer afraid of them. Like, we can easily enter a competition with huge companies and feel that we can make it. Like, we feel we can make it. And sometimes we succeed and sometimes we don't, but we know we fail or we succeed, not because we are smaller or not because we are Greek, but maybe because somebody else was better. It's kind of like taking away all the burden or, the feeling that you're less important than the others.
Yeah, that's true. I think that a lot of times when we are like moving through our career, we downplay ourselves and tell ourselves down, and in reality, when you start interacting with more and more opportunities, it's just a matter of taste. Some people connect with other people and it's not really personal. That's why the other projects get chosen. But also the fact that you put yourself forward is really, I feel, a huge part of the success already, because just the fact that you thought, to send those emails, like, despite the fact of how annoying it was for him.
It was very annoying for him. I have another story. I will tell you this one also because it's very funny. So we have a man. Yes, we work with a man. We've done the Aman in Venice now, and Greece is getting out of the crisis. So we want to do a project in Greece. So we feel kind of like, okay, we're somebody. Like, we can do something good here, and we've learned things. So there's this company. Maybe you know them. It's Cocomat. So Cocomat is a company with mattresses, but they're very much connected with nature. So they wanna do a hotel at the center of Athens that is related to nature. So they invite several architects, but their idea of selecting was financial. So they would get the offers and they choose the cheaper one. And we weren't the cheaper one. So I hear that they haven't selected us, and I get upset. I get upset because I felt that that's not fair. We're here to give back, so they're just throwing away their good luck. So and it's morning. Like, I'm wearing my pajamas. I haven't washed my face. My hair are like that. I just woke up from the bed. I take the phone and start recording myself and saying to the owner, why did you do that? Like, I'm start saying a story. Why did you do that? Because we've done this and that, and we can do this for you. We're not doing it for the money. We can find that, the money is not an issue, but you don't know anything about hospitality. We know everything about hospitality, and you're a Greek company, and we can help you become international. We know the things now. You can give away. So I'm sending him his text. Not text, this video. It was at Mortevi. So in 2 minutes, he finds my phone and calls me back. And he says, you got the job. Come, let's discuss financials. So it's stories like that are they have the same, all of those stories, they have the same origin, which is, don't be afraid to fight for what you think you can do. Just don't be afraid. That's it.
And may I just, I'm sorry, this is your time, I'm sorry.